So in the first shloka, we saw that the description is of the goddess's face, Vadana, Lalita Vadana Aravindam. In the second shloka, the description is of the goddess's arms, Bhuja Kalpavallim. In the third shloka, the description is of Lalita Charana Aravindam. Charana means feet, and Aravinda are lotuses. Charana is feet. Prataha is again at the break of dawn. Namami. This time the word is Namami. In the first shloka it was Smarami. The second it was Bhajami. The third it is Namami. The word Nama is extremely, it's as deep as the word, as the sound O. There are many interpretations. There are many deeper nuances to the sound na. One of the most beautiful descriptions is na meaning not and ma meaning me. So when you say namaha, you put yourself aside, you bring down your identity and worship the object of your prayer or worship. You approach that your object of worship in that sense by putting yourself aside. So namami, in one sense it can be understood as I bow down to. So prataha namami, at the break of dawn I bow down to Lalita Charana Aravindam, to the lotus like feet, lotus like pair of feet of goddess Lalita. How so you see, one thing that we see as common, a grammatical aspect which is common to all of these shlokas, is that words which are similar in meaning, in context, end similarly. There is a technical name for this called as Visheshana Visheshya Bhava, but a simpler way of understanding it is words that end similarly have similar contexts and similar meanings in which they are being used in a sentence. So Lalita Charanara Vindam, Bhakteshta Dana Niratam, Bhava Sindhu Potam, Padmasanadi Suranayaka Pujaniyam. You see, all of these are ending with Even in the previous shloka, you see, Valim, Adhyam, Manam, Dhanam, Tadhanam. So all these words which end similarly have similar contexts and similar, are being used in a similar context in a sentence. Once again, to understand the meaning of the shloka, the key word to catch hold of is the verb. What is the action being done? Namami. I bow down to. What do I bow down to? Lalita Charanaravindam, the lotus-like feet of goddess Lalita. How are those lotus-like feet of goddess Lalita? Bhakta Ishta Dana Niratam. These lotus-like pair of feet are Niratam. They are always immersed in what? Dana, giving. Giving what? Ishta, the desires of whom? Bhakta. Bhakta Ishta, the desires of the devotees. Dana, bestowing. Niratam, ever involved, always occupied or always immersed. Bhakteshta Dana Niratam, these lotus-like feet of goddess Lalita are ever immersed in granting the wishes or desires of of her devotees. Bhava Sindhu Potam. Pota is literally means something that takes us across, that moves, or the literal word meaning of the word is a boat. So Sindhu is the ocean, and Bhava is existence. So even let me not go too deep into the technical meaning of it, but Bhava, Bhu Sattayam, the existence, to just be, Bhavami, all that. So as we keep seeing in the Vakshuddhi course in the very beginning, the word and its meaning are connected at the level of sound itself. The meaning is contained within the sound, and the sound inherently has the meaning which is being conveyed. So Bhava is existence. Sindhu is the word Sindhu means an ocean. So this ocean of existence, the endless ocean of existence. Pota means the boat which takes us across, which delivers us across this endless ocean of existence. Padma Asana Adi Suranayaka Pujaniyam. Pujaniya is that which is worthy of worship. By whom? Padma Asana, the one who is seated on a lotus. That is Lord Brahma, who is born out of a lotus, as it is picturized in our stories. Padmasana is the one who is seated on a lotus, Brahma. Adi, etc. Who else? Suranayaka, the leaders of Suras, all the celestial beings, the Devas. Suranayaka Pujaniyam, which is worthy of worship. What is all this? What is this word describing? Charanaravindam. Lalita Charanaravindam, which is Padmasanadi Suranayaka Pujaniyam. The last description is Padma Ankusha Dhvaja Sudarshana Lanchana Adhyam. We saw this word before, Adhyam, in the first shloka, Raktanguliya Lasadanguli Pallavadhyam, the one who is decorated. Pallavadhyam is the one who is decorated. Adhyam is the one which is decorated. Not referring to the person, but the process of decoration itself. Raktanguliya Lasadanguli Pallavadhyam, when it is ending with a Dirgha Swara, Adhyam, it is referring to the person who has been decorated. Adhyam is referring, literally means the process of decoration itself. What is it decorated by? Her feet. Padma, a lotus. Ankusha, a gourd, as we have seen in the previous shloka. Dhvaja, a flag. And Sudarshana. These are symbols. These form a part of the, what is that called? Samudrika Shastram, which is the science of looking at symbols and all the auspicious signs on one's hand and one's feet. So if when one is fortunate and has a blessed life, there are these patterns which can be seen on one's palms and the soles of one's feet. So here I'm not very well versed with that sense, but there are enough texts which explore into that, which right now has been pushed to a lot of bizarre extent, to a bizarre extent, that you have these lines moving in that particular pattern, then you have so many number of kids and so many this is when you get married and all that stuff. But they are a little more generic than that. They're not very that definite and exact. But these auspicious signs of how one's life is going to be and how one's properties are manifest in one's palms and on the soles of one's feet. And these auspicious signs of a lotus, a gourd, a flag, and a wheel, Sudarshana Chakra, are seen on the soles of her feet. So that is the meaning of the last line. I hope this is clear now. The summary of the entire shloka is something like this. At the break of dawn, I bow down to the lotus-like feet of goddess Lalita, which are ever immersed, Niratam, in bestowing the wishes, on fulfilling the wishes of her devotees, Bhakteштадана Niratam, Bhava Sindhu Potam, which deliver us across, which take us across the endless expanse and vast expanse of vast ocean of creation. Padma Asana Adi Suranayaka Pujaniyam, which are worthy of worship, Pujaniyam, by Brahma and other leaders of Suras, Padma Adi Suranayaka Pujaniyam, and which have auspicious signs on their soles, like a flag, like a lotus, a gourd, a flag, and a Sudarshana Chakra. These auspicious signs are present on the soles of our feet. So this is the entire summary of the shloka. Let me chant it once in a tune, then we can... Lanchana. Lanchana are those auspicious signs. Lanchana literally means a symbol or a sign. Kanchanji. Yes, if you have specific questions related to this shloka like that, you need not ask it in ask a question section like we do in other live streams. You can directly type it out in the chat box. I can answer them. Lanchana is the word. It's not lancha. Lanchana adhyam, which are decorated, which are decorated roughly. Adhyam, which contain, which are so there are no exact English translations. Adhyam can be roughly translated as which are decorated with these auspicious signs, Lanchana, of Sudarshana, Padma, Ankusha, Dhvaja. Adorned, yes, correct. Adorned, perfect. Jai Shri ji, adorned is a good word to use there. Yes, I don't know what I used in translation here. Yeah, and which have the auspicious markings of a lotus, a gourd, and a Sudarshana Chakra. So let me chant it now in a tune, guys. Imbibe might not be the exact word for it, Tyagarajanji here. Imbibe is, getting from some other place. It's like, taking in from somewhere else is imbibing. Here, as Jayashriji said, they are adorned. They have these markings of they are decorated with. Decorated also not meaning that it's coming, it's externally put somewhere. They have within them. They are present with. I hope that is clear as meaning. Let me now chant it in tune. Pratarnamami lalita charanarvindam bhakteштаданaniratam bhavasindhupotam padmasanadisuranayakapujaniyam padmankushadhvaja sudarshanalanchanadhyam. I hope this is clear. As you can see, the third line and the fourth line are one single compound word. I'll chant it one more time. Pratarnamami lalita charanarvindam bhakteштаданaniratam bhavasindhupotam padmasanadisuranayakapujaniyam padmankushadhvaja sudarshanalanchanadhyam. So I don't want to make tall claims, guys, but as you can see, every one of these shlokas, the set of sounds that are contained within them, alternate between Mahaprana sounds and Alpaprana sounds. So at one level, all these chants of Sanskrit are working on the breath. They go much deeper, of course, but at a very obvious and very relatable level, they work on the breath itself, so that they have at that level, it is very clear to very unambiguous to come to a conclusion that they have a direct effect on the physiology. Of course, the sounds go much deeper and have a spiritual significance, the visualization and the goddess who is being worshipped, and of course, and emotionally, if you can connect at it at a level of bhakti to the goddess, of course, it amplifies that effect even more. But at the very physical utterance of speech, even before going into the meaning and the feeling, the bhava of it, you can see that the sounds themselves are quite potent. So let's have some people on screen so to chant the third shloka. Jayshriji wanted. Yes, Jayshriji, I'm sending you an invite now. You will get a notification. If you accept that notification, you'll be able to come on screen. Yes, Kanchanji, please go ahead.
प्रातर्नमामि ललिताचरणारविन्दम् भक्तिष्टदाननिरतं भवसिन्धुपोतम् पद्मासनादिसुरनायकः पूजनीयम् पद्माङ्कुशध्वज सुदर्शनलाञ्छनाढ्यम्.
Perfect. And when saying Padma, there is no gap between the and ma. हिंदी में जब हम बोलते हैं पद्मा, ऐसे पद, वो द के बाद गैप नहीं है. और बाकी सब तो आपने बहुत बढ़िया किया. So it was all perfect. Only that Padma and everything. This time the Dirghas and Rasvas were all in place perfectly. Thank you so much, Kanchan. Padma. Oh, one thing. Can you read this line for me one more time? I'll read it once. It's Padmankusha Dhvaja.
पद्मांकुश ध्वज सुदर्शन.
In that आप Padma बोलिए एक बार. Padma. हाँ, correct. This one. So when you are chanting it, that the or ma के बीच थोड़ा gap आ जा रहा है. हाँ. So yeah, but that one thing, if you can take care of it, everything else was perfect. Thank you. Namaskaram.